Okay, and back. Second thing is like, you know, stars. And I don't mean in the sky. I mean like human people who rise above and become incredible. Do you know Michael Jackson for like 50 or so years, like 30 years, I don't know, look it up. But so many 4 point or 4 some odd billion people know who Michael Jackson is, and he is incredibly still. I mean, like, what is it, 12 years after his death? The most famous human being on the planet. Like, there is almost no one who does not know who Michael Jackson is. Facts. But anyway, like, with a preordained, a pre-existing order, that is unstoppable. It is God's will, and all that. We may have a conscious mind, or so we think, but we do not have free will. And another reason we don't have free will is because, look, if you had free will, there would be no such thing as causation or reaction. I mean, it would just be, the only reason that I say this is because every single thought, every single action that you take, everything that you commit to or whatever is based on a cause. Something happened to create that mindset. And like I said before, if God is all-knowing and, the keeper of all knowledge and history, and has already set forth the reactions or the consequences, whatever, then free will does not exist. I mean, it doesn't. It can't. I mean, you're a fool to think it does. So, with that being said, I mean, I know I'm talking in circles and I'm insane or whatever, but what I mean by all this is, there is no be yourself. There is no change the world. There's none of that. It's all already predestined. If you, subscribe to that. If you do not, well, then the world literally is your oyster. But if your philosophy is God created man, and let me be clear to you real quick. Genesis, the first Genesis number 1, explains the creation of the world. And he says that he created man and woman. Doesn't name them, but says he created them. And then you get into Genesis 2. And Genesis 2 is a whole other creation story. Adam is alone. And he's put to sleep, and God comes and takes a rib, which is scientifically proven, false. But let's say he did, okay? He took a rib and he genetically creates another being from that rib. Well, as far as we know with genetic science, DNA and such, literally, he would have created Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve, because as far as I know, you cannot make the opposite sex from, because the code is not in that. I mean, it's there, but it's not so prevalent that modern science can pull it out. Maybe, hey, but it's God, right? But as far as modern science is concerned, it would literally be Adam and Steve, not Adam and Eve. So, and not just that, but like read Genesis 1. Take notes. Take notes. And then read Genesis 2. And compare those notes. Look at the differences. And not just the differences, but it is entirely two different creation stories. Anyway, I guess I'm lost in all this. I just wanted to express that because, it's there's so much misconception. So many people are running around talking about and aliens. Now we're talking about aliens. Look, it is possible that another species, is, or, whatever, Earth. Cool. It all starting to sound like a lot of propaganda now. Now that they've released all the evidence and the photos of UFO, now they're just encouraging these stories that are unfounded, or look, it is my belief. Do you realize how far objects are from other objects in space, let alone the universe? Like, how far? And the fact that, as far as we know, there is nothing that can move past the speed of light. Except for, now this is theoretical, except for the expansion of the universes in the universe. Like, it has been noted that universes, galaxies, and stuff like that are expanding and moving further out from each other, well past the speed of light. This defies physics, and it is a confusing thing, and is under study by physicists. I mean, it's being looked at, because as far as we know, nothing moves past the speed of light. Nothing. And now, say if the Andromeda system, it would take us at the speed of light somewhere around, 10,000 or so odd years to even get in near. And not only that, but being as light travels at a certain speed, and say we get to that Andromeda, by the time we get there, there will be so much difference in everything. Because not only was the signal that we received that would send us in that direction so old, but by the time we get, like, you know, one of my most favorite examples from some people is that any civilization, let's say in the Andromeda in the Andromeda galaxy, let's say that there is an intelligent planet, maybe even vastly more intelligent than our own, and they discover signals coming from the tail end of the Milky Way. By the time they receive that signal, we will be either extinct or so advanced that it's beyond ridiculous. But same with them, you know. By the time look, space is so vast. Everybody talks about space travel. There is no way that humanity in a physical form will ever get out of our own solar system. It's just not going to happen. Now, if we do want to colonize, say, KP-28b, I think that's it. It's a gigantic world, mostly filled with water, and it has Earth-like properties. It's the first one we found that is this close in. It's pretty profound. But say we send a probe towards that planet. The only hope that humanity would have of populating that planet, because it's twice the size of Earth, so it's gravitational. We'd be crushed. Let's be honest. We would not be able to walk, or our physical body would. The gravity on that planet would be so severe that, we would feel like we were glued to the floor. But anyway, there's a way around this. AI is very much a part of that. Now, say we create an AI system that is designed for one purpose, and that is to procure and nurture humanity. The only way that humanity is ever going to leave our solar system and go into the deep space is embryos and DNA and, seeds and that kind of thing. Physically, our bodies will never be able to. We are earthlings. We are earthlings. That's it. We were born on this planet. We are designed to exist on this planet. It is home. Like it or not, this is home. Humanity can expand to the stars, and we can expand in all directions to the stars, but not physically, not in a humanoid form. And that leads me to this. They show all these aliens. They talk about the reptilians, and they talk about the Norse blondes, or the whatever, and the greys. All these creatures are humanoid. Doesn't make any fucking sense, because humans evolved on this planet for this planet. That's why we're called Earthlings. We have fingers. We have, every function that exists in the human body is designed to survive Earth. Do you know that our atmosphere technically oxygen and other chemicals that exist that we thrive on are actually incredibly poisonous. But conditions, for whatever reasons, were just right on Earth, and, and that's not to say we weren't, fucked with genetically by another race, used as slaves or whatever. I mean, I'm not saying that. What I am saying is the human form is Earth bound. So the likelihood of astronomically, it would be like 1 in 100 trillion that there would be another humanoid-like life form. It would just, it is virtually impossible that any other life form would exist with fingers and toes and legs and arms and a head and like even a brain the way that ours is. It's just highly unlikely. I mean, incredibly, astronomically unlikely. But you people just keep feeding in, buying this UFO and flat earth and whatever shit. Cool. It's okay. But we are earthlings. We are, I won't say designed, we are evolving and evolved for existence and life on Earth. Other planets do not experience necessarily what Earth does. You got gas planets, you got water planets, and do you know they just found the largest mass of water circling a black hole, and it is bigger than our sun. And it's water. And this black hole is just absorbing this water. This water just gravitates around it, and it's in space. I know I sound like a fanatical idiot. I realize that. But I study this stuff. Constant. It's all I do. It's all I got. It's all I got. I have no other outlet or anything. So, I can't say, believe me. Look, I'm not saying that. Do your own research. Do your own research. Was humanity advanced by an alien race? Maybe. It's possible. But I'd like for all of you to realize something. I'd like for you to look at the Milky Way like as a picture, and look at the very fucking tail end. And there's Earth. We're at the very ass end of this galaxy that's spiraling into another galaxy, by the way. And I would like you to really think about this. How insignificant that we actually are, because Earth is very, very, to us it's, huge. But in the grand scheme of shit, Earth is tiny. It's not just tiny, it's like a grain of sand. And look at Jupiter. Do you know that like there's like 1,000 or more Earths could fit into Jupiter, and like 8,000 Earths could fit into the Sun? I mean, we're nothing. How could an advanced alien species just discover Earth out of all the fucking billions and billions and billions of planets, trillions, Google planets? And you know, evolution is a thing. It is real. We evolved. We are constantly evolving. Look at our tech. Look at how things are happening now compared to, I mean, knowledge is expansive, and it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger. It, just like the universe, it expands knowledge. It is, unless there was a previous society on this planet that was highly technologically advanced, that sent out signals that alerted, and by the time they got here, you know, that whatever, that society had already perished, or you know, pyramids, all that bullshit. But what I am saying is the likelihood of aliens in any way visiting, being a part of, or whatever, Earth, is incredibly, highly unlikely. It just is. I mean, I encourage you to examine Earth compared, I mean, to even to objects in the solar system. But look outside of the known solar system and objects, and how could we pull any attention from any other being? Just an impossibility. It's, I mean, it's like 1 in some odd trillions of a fucking chance. Anyway, in my opinion, my personal opinion, if there are aliens, you know, extraterrestrial whatevers, entities and such, they will most likely be multi-dimensional. They will not be literally from other planets. Like I said before, the vastness of space is, I mean, most likely any visitors that we are, you know, dealing with or whatever is multi-dimensional. They're not literal aliens. They are multi-dimensional aliens. So they're from here, but they're from a different here, you know. And they learn to penetrate dimensions. Humans are only built to see in 3-dimensional aspects, but our eyes actually do not receive information that is full. There is like 115 or more % of things that the human eye does not recognize or see that is around us. There are colors, there are beings. There are things that exist all around us that we can't see. Because our eyes only see prism style. You know, red, blue, green, yellow. You know, these things, these in different blends and such. Humanity's not ready for the next realm. Because if the next realm was to present itself, we'd go fucking insane. And they may be our enemies. Who knows? It's highly unlikely, but I am a firm believer in two different theories. The egg theory. I'm not a firm believer, but I like the theory. I like the theory. It doesn't make it true just because I like it. There's no evidence behind it. There's no, there's nothing that says that's, I just like the theory. I like the ideology behind it. Doesn't mean it's real. And then chaos. The chaos theory. Which I do believe in 100 and, almost 200%. Through chaos becomes creation. Because without chaos, there would not be life. There would not be creation. Because when two objects collide and explode and they spread and they, gravitational this and that and the other and, years of, hundreds of millions and billions of years of volcanic and, just crazy interaction, and then all of a sudden things just kind of calm down and, the green starts to grow. Moss becomes a thing, and then, water's there because it's an element that is in the rocks that were collided. And they seep out and, things, and then next thing you know, you got this bacteria, and this bacteria becomes a more advanced bacteria, and in order to survive with the change, because in this world it will be constantly creating and changing, it'll be violent, there'll be eruptions, there'll be all kinds of things, and in this world that is forming and becoming new, there will be all these different bacterias and things, and they will have to evolve, and just like how when you put a certain antibody into a human to attack a virus, that virus will recognize it. Some will be killed, but then some will recognize it and they'll mutate and, learn to become more advanced than that particular virus or that antivirus. Same with humanity, animals. Even the Bible in one point says that everything comes from the sea. Even right now, there are fish coming out of the water with lungs and somewhat developing legs. Evolution, whether you believe it or not, is a fucking thing. And it is impossible for it not to be. Because conditions on Earth and our environment. Look, when I was a kid, myself and another friend, we killed tons of frogs in my pool. my backyard's pool. We were cruel as fuck. I won't go into it, but we killed all these frogs. And one day, because in my pool, it had been inactive for like 4 years or so. Okay, and then, we went out and being little boys, started killing frogs. And then one day we pulled the liner out a little bit. And behind the liner was these white frogs with green patches and sucker feet. Those regular, everyday, average Arkansas frogs who got in the pool had tadpoles after tadpole after tadpole, generation after generation, 4 years at least. And once they got in the pool, they were stuck. That was their destiny. There was no land to get on. They were aquatic. That was it. We ourselves witnessed evolution. And it scared the shit out of us, by the way. Because those frogs, those green, regular, everyday Arkansas frogs, went from being trapped in that pool to hiding behind that liner, and had evolved into albinos with suction cups on their little feet. And they were on their verge of getting out of that pool. Might not believe me, but that's a fact. I mean, how could you make that up? Anyway, evolution is real. Alien involvement. I don't understand the jump in intelligence, between the certain, periods. But it did happen. And the human brain, by the way, the old saying that you only use 10% of your brain and blah, blah, that's not true. That is not true. You use damn near 100% of your brain. It's just that your brain protects you from certain things and blocks certain things. Did you know if your immune system realized that you had eyes and you could see, that it would attack your eyes to the point that you were blind? Because it's not. Anyway. I know I'm talking a lot of, blah, 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 but I'm sober and I'm on my way to rehab, and I have so much on my mind, and I try my damnedest not to talk about her or the situations that led up to everything. So my only recourse is my knowledge of physics and science and understanding, and it's limited knowledge. It's not advanced as I may make it out to be, but anyway, I love all of you, and I'll be gone for a month, maybe more. But one day I will return, and things will be different. Anyway, I love you all. And Gonzo out for now. I love you all.